Also, real quick, before we get started,
Yes, sir.
I got hockey, the Stanley Cup on the background.
Shout out to
This
the
shit
Golden
looks
Knights.
so fucking lit.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like playoff
yeah.
hockey, like I check in on regular hockey every once in a while. It's pretty dumb. Playoff hockey looks crazy. Like I want to go to a game. Like despite the fact that they call me all
Yeah.
types of n words and apes and whatnot,
Oh yeah,
I
hard
think
R's.
I still enjoy it. So we got to link Beware the L's live from next year's Stanley Cup.
Yeah. As long as we can drink Douce out the Stanley Cup, then I'm all for it. Yeah,
So
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no. Listen, the next summer is gonna be the livest. This summer is gonna be the livest. You know why? Because I am trying to get all my men's Fashion Nova shit popping for the summer, my G.
Oh man, you just wait. You whores and thoughts beware,
It's
because you
uh,
thought you had Nova on lock. No, no, no.
no, sir. And it's a see. You got to understand is like it's a becoming a Nova bro. It's a slow progression. You feel me? It starts off simple enough. Oh, you just throwing in some fits on the gram and some TBT, take me back pictures from your local beach from last week. Then you got some captions that ain't got shit to do with the actual picture itself. Then next thing you know, you taking knock knee pigeon toed pics while randomly staring at the ground, and then
Whole bunch of gray sweatpants.
all gray
Then
sweatpants.
the quick supporting and promoting whack whack products that don't work. I got a
Lace front
couple
beards.
couple fit tees.
Yes.
For my bros trying to get that six pack right. Like you said, lace front beards, hairline products,
And then
a whole bunch.
and then the final evolution, the Super Saiyan of a Fashion Nova shit is booking info in your bio. So that's
Goals.
This is goals, and this is what we are trying to get to, and these are the levels of litness that we are trying to achieve this summer on Beware the Ills.
To give you what you need. Not five motherfuckers. Get live, motherfuckers. As we proceed to give you what you need. Not five motherfuckers. Get live, motherfuckers.
Now turn the mics up. Turn that mic up. Yeah, the beat is knocking. Leave that mic up though. Turn that shit the fuck up. What? Turn up louder. Yeah. Who shot ya? Separate the weak from the opsa. Leap hard to creep them Brooklyn streets. It's on, nigga. Fuck all that bickering beef. I can hear sweat trickling down your cheek. Your heartbeat sound like Sasquatch feet. Thundering, shaking the concrete. Then the shit stopped when I fall the plot. Neighbors call the cops, said they heard mad shots. Saw me in the drop, 3 1/4. Slaughter, electrical tape around the daughter. Old school, new school, need to learn though. I burn, baby, burn like disco inferno. Burn slow like blunts with yayo. Peel more skins than I
Welcome, ladies and gents, to an action-packed, crammed, shove that shit in, stick it in there, and make sure it doesn't fall out.
Hey now.
No pause 2018. That is the motto. That's the motto of the year. And this is episode 7 of Beware the Ills. Thank you so much for riding back here. 7 episodes takes a lot. Normally 7 episodes is like that point in a TV show where you decide whether this shit is trash and overrated, or if this is really something that you're gonna invest into. My 7 episodes overrated show is This Is Us. Y'all niggas can keep that shit. Get it the fuck out of here. I don't want no parts of it.
I can't speak to that. I like my TV shows with guns and murder and a lot of drugs. So
Facts. Speaking of drugs, guns, and murder, real quick, R.I.P. to Prop Joe. Gone but never forgotten.
as always,
Never. And free to homie Orlando Brown, patron saint of Beware the Ills. We ain't forgot about you either, my G.
Nope. Come on, we'll wait for you on the other side, brother.
But as we mentioned, welcome episode 7, not episode Evan Fournier of Beware the
That
I'm sorry.
I'll tell you that story. I'll tell you that story.
Wow, this Evan Fournier story. Can't wait for that one. We are here live and lit. It is your boy, Uptown Ace Boogie, Kingsley Shacklethot. Man, I'm starting to forget these. Jeff Benzos, Lit Gallagher, and now Michael Olowokanda.
That's one of my personal favorites.
Olowokandi forever. All right. And you can follow me on all the socials at Uptown Ace Boogie, and of course, always follow the show. The show Twitter at Beware the L's. Wes.
Yeah. Beware the L's. This is Wesley reporting live from the scene of Summer Colada Ciroc. I go by Ain't That Wes. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. Everything's Ain't That Wes. I'm also known as Dick Dastardly, Paul Masson Margella, whole bunch of everything. Make sure if you get a chance, hit me up on Vine.
Yes.
I'm still heavy on Vine. I found some sort of beta program, so let me know what's going on. Just keep it under 6 seconds. If you're nasty. And that's us. Keep following us. Keep supporting. We appreciate all the support. We appreciate all the feedback we've heard so far. The numbers looking good. We're trying to build everything. Quick shout out to 2 of our good supporters who fuck with the show and giving me good feedback and let me know what's going on. Shout out to Jubons, the big homie.
Yes, sir.
Kent State legend, life legend for real. I got some Jubon stories I'm gonna let loose at some point on the show, and also the homie Jazz from she's not from Baltimore. I think she's from Silver Spring.
Silver Spring,
some place in Baltimore. Who knows? But yeah, shout out to them for
big
responding.
Shouts. Big
the
shouts.
Homies. So yeah, just keep fucking with us. We got a lot to get into today.
Definitely a lot to get into. It's our job as gatekeepers of the culture. Self-proclaimed gatekeepers of the culture. We're getting there.
In time.
To go ahead and translate and break down and analyze, the major happenings in our world, and to translate them into a communicable format, so we can get out here and have these big Negro town halls, which is our ultimate goal, to have a live Beware the Ills in the most trapped out places that you could possibly imagine. Beware the L's live from 8 Mile.
Beware the L's live from Ken Arena.
Facts. So as the Wayne Wonder twins, Wayne Wonder twin powers activate, take the shape of mid-top black Air Force Ones with the strap undone.
Ooh. Wayne Wonder twins take the shape of a Buick LeSabre.
LeSabre. We are here to bring you just the most important, essential topics that pertain to us and our niggerly lives. So, the format's gonna be a little bit different. We normally hit y'all with some big topics and our reoccurring segments, our light skin power rankings, our hot takes, our things of that nature. But there's so much meat, no gristle this week, all meat.
No gristle, all meat.
No pause 2018 again.
Yeah. That's how we coming. No pause.
we gonna go ahead and dive right in like Trey Songz, because we got some major topics we got to hit on. First and foremost,
I wish I had a water splash sample I can throw in right there. God damn, gotta get the sound effects right.
Don't worry, we don't get that soundboard popping too. That's phase 2. It's like our Marvel phase 2 and 3. Beware the L's phase 2 soundboard coming. Keep it locked. But right now, I don't really think there's anywhere you can go, anywhere you can do any conversation you can have with anybody our age without discussing this nasty, which got nasty really quickly. Like it went from like this beef went from Bow Wow and Romeo to super ugly very quickly.
To put it in the term that you would find very familiar, this beef turned up like Ohio weather.
Facts.
It went from It went from 75 and pretty nice, not too sunny, not too cloudy, to 7 inches of snow on the ground.
Yeah. And you know what? If you didn't see it, then you know absolutely nothing about music. Drake and Pusha T. Just a little storyline, little backstory. This
Give them the
beef has
facts.
been going on for roughly 6 years. And not always playing out in the public light. But they started sending small shots back at each other back in, God, that had to have been the summer of 2012. Yeah, so 6 years.
Yes, I
Around
was 2012,
that
yep.
time, Drake, who was still very passive aggressive. He hadn't fully embraced his stay scheming role yet.
That was still "Diss me, you'll never hear a reply" for
Yes.
Drake.
So he was sending little shots at Drake. And Drake was sending little shots at Push, and the thing about Drake is he'll throw little shots into hit songs, so that's what will always make it okay. You know what, you work that in, and that was pretty nice. A lot of people don't know. We don't dress alike, we don't rap alike. I shine different, I rhyme different. Only thing you got is some years on me, man. Fuck you and your time difference. Directly referring to Pusha T in that bar. And Drake's little goal and egging on would eventually lead us into the dynamic destruction that was Exodus. God. And we never got a I guess traditional reply to Exodus because Push bodied Wayne and Drake, and he did them pretty fucking dirty. And that was probably like the last that was probably the last main entry in this beef. And Exodus came out summer of 2012.
I would like. Well, are you going to speak on Two Birds, One Stone?
Well, yes. I almost forgot about Two Birds, One Stone.
That'd probably be the response.
Yeah,
when Drake talked to mainly Kid Cudi, but threw a couple bars at Push. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I can't remember. The Summer Cloud is hitting a little bit, but basically saying you're a middleman and shit. You was never them guys. You bagging up watching your homies watch Pacino. Yeah. Just talking to Push, saying he really wasn't that guy in the drug game, which is one of Push's main fortes in his lyrics.
Sure. And Drake has, in the words of the children, the underlings, he's kept that same energy going forward about Push not really living the life that he supposedly lived. And here's the thing, so we fast forward, been little shots, little lines, little bars, little jabs in interviews over the years, but I will fully admit that I am a Pusha T stan. I'm a Pusha Terrence stan. He is my second favorite rapper behind only Ho. So, while I remain as unbiased as I possibly can in this situation, I guess I just want to inform the masses who may not listen to a lot of Pusha T or not really understand who this guy is. I'm not saying by any means that in this current iteration of the beef that it's over with or anything, but I just want to say that Push did what he's been trying to do for 6 years, and that is egg Drake on, just poke him on the forehead enough times until Drizzy's light-skinned self turns red and decides to jump into a beef that he is ill-equipped to handle. And that's what happened.
Yep. and that's what we saw. We saw Daytona dropped. This would be last Friday.
Last Friday. As we record this on May 30th. And so far, Daytona is the most critically acclaimed rap album of 2018 in terms of Metacritic ratings. So 7 songs, all fire, even with Kanye's poopity scoop shit on there.
I would say, like, well, speaking of this, is actually a great topic because, like, you are one of the top Push stands in the world. I am one of the top Drake stands in the world. So we're gonna have some good conversation here. But I can definitely follow up when you said Daytona was great. I was I'm not a huge Push fan, but I definitely listened to all his stuff. I respect it. What him and Clips, what he did with Clips was incredible. He had a incredible run as a duo. Daytona was immaculate. The production on it was, I don't know if we're gonna hear any better production on a project this year. Raps always Push always comes to raps. And then as you saw, he took a couple. He had a shot or two, and what would Meek do? And then Infrared, he voiced some concerns with
let off the full clip.
What he felt about Drake.
Yeah, let off the full clip on Drake on Infrared. Also sent some more shots at Lil Wayne because let's just kick Wayne while he's down, everybody. Essentially.
No, Wayne was courtside at the Rockets game the other day. I think he's doing all right. He's sitting next to a Redskin, so you know he's doing pretty well.
Anyway, I'm sure Wayne's doing well in life, but musically, he's.
I don't know. Wayne ain't been doing good since 2010. I don't give a fuck about that. Music is not for this nigga. It's about skateboards and Mountain Dew and shit like that. He's not focused on music, and that's fine. I don't want him to be either.
The main bar from Pusha T's Infrared, that kind of got the beef ball re-rolling, reignited. Had to borrow that good old whole flow from the Prelude, which is one of Jay-Z's most underrated songs, if you ask me. He is the greatest intro writer in the history of rap music, and I feel like that's undisputed.
This could slightly be disputed, but we'll talk about this another day.
I feel like it's undisputed. Name anybody that can match Dynasty intro with anything, Wesley.
Meek Mill, Dreams and Nightmares intro.
Yeah.
Please lie and say it's not even. Say it's not comparable.
No, it's comparable, but that's one. Meek has one intro, notable intro.
Well, notable to you coons.
Okay. But regardless, we about to get mad off topic. Because we got old Meek Mill stand number one over here, and I don't feel like hurting Wesley's feelings tonight.
Episode 8, we can go wherever direction you try and go in episode 8, my
nigga. But the bar in question, the game's fucked up, niggas beats is banging, nigga your hooks did it. The lyric penning equal the Trumps winning. The bigger question is how the Russians did it. It was written like Nas, but it came from Quentin. And this
quick side note.
Yes.
Did you know Quentin had one leg?
Yes. I've known this for quite a while.
Well, thank you for throwing that in the group chat. I had no idea. I seen a picture of him and I said, oh my God, we picking on this nigga. This nigga got one leg. That's fucked up.
Apparently Quentin also dropped a response track that nobody paid any attention to.
Oh, I smooth saw the link and I smooth read the next tweet after that because I had no interest in hearing what this nigga had to say.
Jesus, I feel bad for Quentin, but this goes all the way back to the whole Meek Mill Drake beef. Quentin Miller writing a couple reference tracks for Drake off of If You're Reading This It's Too Late. So Push had to go back, had to let him know, like, hey nigga, I ain't forgot that shit. You call yourself the king of the game, Champagne Poppy, but you don't write your own shit. Which is fair. And he baited him and baited him and baited him, and finally Drake was like, hey, listen, Wheelchair Jimmy had enough.
I'm fed up. Canada's been making fun of me for so long. I got to respond, and respond he did. So what I do give him credit for is the time which he responded.
Yes,
because
promptness is always important, especially in the age of social media.
Daytona dropped I guess midnight on Friday, Thursday night, Friday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard the response
Friday
on my way home from work on Friday.
Yeah,
less than 24 hours, and this man had a full response which spoke to the disses that were in Infrared. So it's not like he went and recorded this prior and just waited to drop it. He said, you know what, let me get in the booth, let me do what these rappers do, which is one thing. This is a quick little side tangent. Niggas talk about Drake all the time being the softest in the game. Drake is this, Drake is that. Drake is one of the only rappers that we've seen when people come to diss him, he is right there in the booth dropping some shit at niggas' necks shortly thereafter. Yep. For the most part.
I will give him that. I will give Young Aubrey, his credit for that. Like I said, in the age of social media, promptness is always something that's appreciated. Niggas don't have months and months and months to respond to one song, like they did in the early 2000s. And and Drake hopped in, and you know what, I give him all the credit in the world because Duppy was fire. It was the best diss anything that Drake has ever come with. In his career, he came with can't quite call them facts, but he came with very personal information. Flow nice. The song itself was nice. Some you could definitely listen to in a whipping, and it's still crazy that, at this stage in his career, after bodying the number of niggas that he has bodied, that Drake still has to prove himself as a tough guy. But
it's a shame.
Catch-22 though, unfortunately, Drake feeling like he had to prove himself, like I said, was exactly what Pusha wanted. This is the beef that we should have gotten in 2012. So Drake came out. I'm sorry. What was that, sir?
I was gonna just talk about just a few of these quick lines that Drake was talking about. A couple of I've done things for him that I thought he never would need. Father had to stretch his hands out and get it from me.
Yes, sir.
He talked about Kanye a lot in this as well.
Yeah.
Which I thought
was fair because
fuck
Kanye.
Unwarranted, but hey, he deserved it. He's running with Push, and he's been acting an ass lately. So let me see some other lines. One of the lines that I felt was extremely disrespectful was you're not even top 5 as far as your label talent goes. Because if you've looked at the Good Music roster, to say Push isn't top 5 is it's akin to peeing in his cereal.
Yeah,
I have. Yeah, there's not 5 better rappers.
No,
so for him to even intimate that is like Push, you might have to fight. I was thinking it when I heard it. Push, you might have to see this nigga with the hands.
Yeah, I mean because Designer and Tyga are on Good Music.
Are very much Good Music people.
So yeah,
and they're in the top half. After I looked at the roster, which is not saying a lot. Also, one of the lines I enjoyed was "There's no malice in your heart. You're an approachable dude."
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a really good one.
Drake had some clever lines in here. So, from my perspective, I guess you would call round 1 Infrared versus Duppy freestyle. I would have to edge it to Drake, and I was like, you know what, Drake is going to do well. I said Push isn't going to respond. Push isn't. I didn't feel Push was super duper invested in this whole beef.
Please.
And then I said, you know what? I saw the jokey jokes on Twitter. I said Push has he's got till Monday, or he's got till Tuesday night to respond, giving him time for the holiday weekend to enjoy Memorial Day. Shout out to all the veterans out there.
Yes, sir.
So I was like, all right, okay, we'll see what Push has, but Push is going to come with some more, write your own rhymes, you're soft type angles.
Nah, Drake made one mistake.
Drake. Let's get
one grave mistake.
So, and I didn't even think. I thought this was kind of a throwaway line.
Me too.
I keep telling you, playing with my name, I let it ring on you like Virginia Williams. Mentioned Push's fiance. Now I noticed he didn't say anything disrespectful about her. He just said, "I'm gonna let it ring on you like Virginia Williams, ring fiance." We get it like that. But Terrence felt some type of way about this. Pusha Terrence felt some type of way about this.
Pusha Terrence is from, you understand, Pusha Terrence is from a different generation. And yes, he is 40.
Still has braids in the goddamn 2018.
It's scary. It's and if that doesn't scare you, then I don't know what does. And Kanye talked about, Drake talked about on on Duppy. What was the line about him still being under the dude that he's older than?
He's still older than the dude that you run behind. I think if they see he's still older than the dude that you run behind or some shit like that.
Yeah. So, Pushes from a different era where beef was done very, very differently. All this social media shit and niggas getting away with saying and doing whatever the fuck they doing, and then dapping each other up the next day. No. The second that you bring family, mothers, fiancés, children into the equation, all bets are off. And again, I think Drake thought that he was going to win this beef off of clout. The way he did with Joe Budden, the way he did with
didn't even need to. He responded to Joe Budden with one throwaway line.
Yes,
That's it. Button
yeah.
sent multiple songs at him, but
I think it was 3. Drake and all his other, feuds or, even disagreements with people, he's floated by on clout. He throws in one line on a hit song that everybody's going to be singing for the whole summer, and that's usually all that it takes. But he severely underestimated the pettiness of Pusha T, who has said in interviews recently that I am the pettiest rapper alive. You don't even have to.
I've seen no lies.
You don't even have to give me a reason to respond. And Drake did the wrong thing. So next thing you know, we went from oh yeah, you don't write your own lines, and hey, you're not really you're not really a drug dealer. You're a nice guy, to your dad's a deadbeat piece of shit, and you're just like him. Nobody wants your mom. Nobody wants to be with her, even though you claim she's a star, but she keeps coming in last place. You struggle with your blackness because you're not really black, and your best friend is dying from multiple sclerosis.
Oh, don't forget that you're hiding a child.
Yes. And niggas talk about that escalated quickly. It wasn't even just the bars, which were vicious enough. I always say, listening to Pusha T raps, it's abrasive, like somebody rubbing a Brillo pad across your forehead. But it wasn't just the bars itself. It was all the metaphors, all of the just the concept of the song, over the story of OJ. The story of Adidon, which I found out earlier through Push's second Breakfast Club interview. If somebody gets 2 Breakfast Club interviews in a week, they're on some Ray J shit. All right, and his second Breakfast Club interview in as many weeks, we find out that basically, Kanye, Pusha T, and Drake are all signed to Adidas. Drake has a secret son named Adonis with that overseas stripper, which I don't know why everybody is so surprised about, because this was a pretty big story when it came out about Drake had some.
Yeah, definitely remember. The story was, I think it was last summer. Drake had got this. They keep calling her porn star, but I've watched her work, and I've seen no intercourse. So I don't know how I would. Let's slow down the porn star calls, and she's just a young lady who gets naked for the cam. But yes. So the story was last summer that he got her pregnant. Her name was floating around. And that was kind of a big story. I really can't believe people have forgotten about it that quick.
Imagine watching your baby father give away free money talking about God's plan. Oh, Jesus. I just read that on Instagram. Yeah.
There's a lot of questionable Drake lines that if this is true, which I'm gonna lean towards it being.
I can
true,
never have a kid and still be out here still kidding around. I'm sorry. It is not laughable that a child is potentially missing his father. It's laughable that Drake is such a fucking fraud. Okay, and
let's calm down.
Nope. Listen,
let us take a chill pill, because we don't know the facts yet. Drake could be sending this child and his mother. He could be sending them racks every month. He could be sliding through visits.
I'm here to pick up my son.
I'll be back next. But we don't have all the facts yet, but from what it's looking like,
it ain't looking too good. Drake is now down 3-1. But you know what? It's again the story. I don't know how everybody magically forgot about it, but what makes this so vicious and so vindictive is the fact that, like I said, aside from the bars about his family and his best friend dying, and and him in blackface. Now that whole I don't was it dance and sing mammy, the other line from Infrared, now it makes so much more sense. That's how Push was baiting him again, because he
Push had all this information on Tuck and was just waiting.
Tizuck, but
was just waiting.
Basically the most fucked up thing that we found out, according to Push, is that Drake Drake has a line through Adidas coming out, Adidon. And the name of his child, supposed child, is Adonis, and he planned to reveal his child to the world by having him model his new line through Adidas. And not only has pushed, basically pulled the rug out from under him and his big reveal, but he's also pulled the rug out from under his own fucking apparel provider, Adidas, and potentially fucked up their money on some level as well. So if you are so petty that you are willing to potentially fuck up your own money in order to spite somebody else, that is not the type of nigga that you want to get into a beef with. And Push said it himself in the interview. He said, I don't know if I'm gonna win this beef. I don't really care if I'm gonna win this beef, but I will do everything in my power to take Drake down with me. That's scary. Okay.
That from that's for on my end. Like I said, I'm definitely Team Drake in this situation, but I'm Team Hip Hop in the grand scheme.
Oh yeah.
So as a Drake fan, I am terrified. As a hip hop fan, I couldn't be more thrilled for what this summer entails, because Push, like he said, this is a surgical summer. We're gonna peel back the layers.
Cutting the tops off. So and he also said this is just the tip of the iceberg. So if Drake responds with something else, then I've got plenty left, and I'm sure that he does. I'm sure they both have a little bit of dirt on each other, but this is what beef is about. There is no rap without beef. All this buddy, like the NBA shit where everybody's best friends. Nobody want to see that shit. That's not what it's about. It's about getting audaciously disrespectful towards a man that honestly you probably don't even hate that much. You just kind of dislike him, but you want to disrespect him in front of the world.
Right. Exactly. This isn't no real beef when it's like some sort of family or some like real type life situation. This is just rap shit. And these niggas disagreed on some rap shit, and now this has turned into some super rap shit.
Yep. And
you gotta love it as a fan of hip hop, as a fan of music, as a fan of this song. You gotta love it. You gotta love what this entails. You gotta love what's in tuck, what's on the way, and what this could become. As long as it doesn't get to the violence,
with Drake, I highly doubt that'll happen. But
you see Drake in these class. Drake has got husky on niggas. Keep it 1,000. If it got to the hands, I don't know what direction it could go. I seen Pusha T shoot a jump shot, and so if that gives me a little peek into some sort of athleticism, Drake could fade this nigga, and he needs to fade this nigga for what he said about 40.
That was rough. That's what you were just like, that was
40's a nice fucking guy. He's a white guy.
That's when you are associated with somebody. That's what happens.
It was completely in line. And I'm not saying it was out of line, but it just hurt to hear. It just hurt, man, just to hear it.
And there are a million other lines that will be casually tweeted out over the course of the summer by the Beware the L's Twitter account from this vicious beef, and we are eagerly awaiting Drake's comeback after Pusha T's buzzer beater. But again,
this wasn't no damn buzzer beater. This shit was a 30-point victory. They was up this whole time. They chilling. The subs are playing after halftime. This is one of those.
That's true. That's a good point. You're right. It wasn't no buzzer beater.
Yeah, so I was saying, like, just quickly to wrap it up. So Drake, I'm not even sure what direction he can go in, because, like I said, if you want to call Infrared and Duppy round one, Drake out round one, round two, Push set it off with this shit, which is I don't think Drake really can do anything with this.
You can't. You gotta take it all different.
As far as respond, I don't know what his next step is, but it's got to be different, because I don't think he can win this round. But in all, this was a great weekend. Like I said, NBA is kind of slowing down, getting to the playoffs, but so games aren't every night. But this was a great couple nights.
For sure, and it's been a long time. We always talk about like 2012 Twitter, which really was a great time where you literally sit on the timeline and go back and forth with people about stuff and have moments. Have moments in time where you remember where the fuck you were at and what you were doing when these big events popped off. And I will give Drake all the credit that he has been a part of a lot of these events over the years. And real quick before you move on, one aspect of this beef, which is obviously far from over, one aspect that that I want to touch on really quickly was it was Rihanna's comments. So you know, Drake, Rihanna, you know, had they fallen out, whatever. She was casually smashing Drake, and you know he wanted her to be bae for life, and she was like,
the things I would do to casually smash Rihanna, bro.
yeah.
Oh man.
So yeah, another victory for Aubrey. But you know, Rihanna made some comments, or a source made some comments to Page Six about, you know, where Rihanna was leaning in this beef, and she said, "I'm Team Drake all the way. We may not be particularly close anymore, but he's a great artist." And I personally seen how much work he puts into his music, and I think people, there are a lot of people in the rap game who are quite frankly just jealous of him. And you know, I think Pusha T is one of those people. And you know what?
I didn't even hear about this.
Yeah, and you know what? She may not be completely wrong in that. Yeah, I mean, even though Drake and Pusha T have very different goals for what they want out of rap. If you've ever seen interviews from both men, you know, Drake wants the fame. You know, Drake wants to be that guy, which he has become, which he has earned. Push really just wants money to be able to take care of his family, honestly. And that's, you know, again, kind of two different generations, two different backgrounds, or according to Drake, similar backgrounds. But but my one like, I guess, criticism of that comment is that Drake wants the smoke. Okay, like Drake is not as soft as people think he is, but with the way he raps, with the way he talks, with the way he goes about things, with the way he be hollering on each and every track, when you are that guy, there's a target on your back. So you can't just say, oh, you can't be LeBron James and say and think that people aren't going to get amped up to play you, that people aren't going to go out of their way to knock you out the playoffs. That is what happens. You can't talk like Drake's not a nice guy. I don't care what anybody says. He is arrogant as shit. Okay. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be arrogant. Because when you're at that level, you can do whatever the hell you want. But he's arrogant as shit. He talks a lot of shit. And in most situations, he gets to not float by, but he gets to take advantage of these situations by the seat of his clout. And most people that he goes up against does not have either enough clout or enough rapping skill in order to even be able to respond to shit. And that's how a lot of situations get ended really quickly. With Pusha T, that's not going to happen. Bar for bar, Pusha T's a better rapper than Drake. Artist? No, he's not a better artist. Drake's the best artist in hip hop today, bar none. But bar for bar, we just talking about rapping. It's Push. Push is also more petty. He's also more aggressive, and Push is willing to die for this shit. This is top flight security to him. So,
yeah, you spoke no lies. I heard everything. This is gonna be an interesting one for Drake to see what he does and see where this beef goes in general. I'm looking forward to it.
For sure. And I wholeheartedly believe that this is going to be an exceptional beef. And honestly, I don't know who's going to win. Just because I really like Pusha T does not mean that I don't think Drake can win. But it's going to take a different level of Drake than we have ever seen. He maybe have to go to a place that we have never seen him go to in order to pull this shit out. This is basically the Cavs walking through the Eastern Conference like we do every year and then running into Golden State.
You say walking, but I recall 7-game series is
okay. Well, maybe this year was a little bit different.
Cleveland Ramones. I believe that's his name. Cleveland Ramones.
Raymond. Yes, Raymond. Yes.
Yeah. So from the Drake Pusha T, we go to another beef with that is not as interesting. Does not.
No, it's really not
as many layers. Really which is which you just said Drake having beef with people who aren't on his level of clout or bars. This is exactly like that. The NBA Finals matchup is set, and for the 4th straight year, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers going against the Golden State Warriors. So, like I said, this is the 4th straight year this has happened. We've seen the Warriors beat a hurt Cavs team in 2015. We've seen the Cavaliers
Sorry for background noise. Currently got that Michael McTrap nice for what? Begging. McTrap back.
Shout out to McTrap the long. We fuck him the long way. That is one of the funniest Instagram accounts there. Follow Michael McTrap.
Shit.
Like I said, we saw the Cavs. We saw the Warriors beat a hurt Cavs team in 15.
Yeah.
We saw the Cavs do the greatest comeback in finals history.
Yes,
16. We saw the Warriors take the Cavs out to the garage, bend them over their knee, and spank them.
Yes, in 17.
Loud as shit in 17. And this year, 2018, all signs are showing the Warriors will do the same thing, if not worse, this year. I haven't checked the odds, but I saw something. I said these Cavs might be one of the biggest
dogs
finals in history.
First day, Warriors were minus 1,100, and for the series. And if you don't know anything about sports betting, that's like for a championship series, that's fucking astronomical.
Oh, here you go. Look, it literally just popped. I'm watching Sports Center right now in the background. 1,100 is what the Warriors on the Cavs. Minus the largest in history was minus the 2001 Lakers. Shout out to Gang, Rick Fox and them. The Sixers, which was really just Allen Iverson and a bunch of niggas from Philly, were minus 2,000. Okay, so this is the second biggest odds of all time in NBA Finals history, which is incredible.
And you're completely correct. And the thing about it is, bro, it has less to do because those early 2000s teams that went up against the Lakers and the Spurs, those were just some not very good teams that made it out the East. I think the worst teams, conference champions that we've ever seen, the New Jersey Nets probably in both years that they made it out. That Philly team was trash. The Cavs in 06, 06-07, they were horrible. And you could even say the Cavs in 15 if you take Kyrie and Kevin Love out of the equation. Very, very bad teams. But this speaks more to just exactly how good Golden State is. Golden State is arguably I don't even think it's arguable. I think they're the most talented team of the modern era. You can't say.
I'm willing to go on a limb and say that the Golden State team, when healthy, this iteration of between this year and last year, are the greatest basketball team that's ever been assembled.
Wow. That's that's saying a lot. I still can't completely discount like the 1950s, 60s Celtics and shit. And
I don't want to hear no team.
I'm just saying.
I don't want to hear no teams that where their star players had to go eat out the back of the restaurant.
Come on, man.
The backups could eat in the front, but your star players eat in the back. I don't want to hear no shit about that.
Hey, I'm just saying.
If your star player had to work as a goddamn mailman or selling insurance in the offseason, I don't even try to hear shit.
Between them, also, man, I still those Showtime Lakers, man.
I say the Lakers, the '86 Celtics. 96 Bulls, maybe.
And you know what? We've been into our debates. My hot take, Scottie Pippen is overrated. But to be honest, those Bulls teams, and I still think Michael Jordan wholeheartedly, with the exception of LeBron's years in Miami. So with all his years in Cleveland, Jordan has wholeheartedly always had more talent on his championship teams surrounding him than LeBron. But those Bulls teams were not that great.
No, it was
top to bottom.
First, top to bottom is really first couple years. First championship years was like Mike, Scotty, Horace Grant was an above average player. Those next couple of years they got Dennis coming in, who was a Hall of Famer.
B.J. Armstrong.
He's a good agent.
Let's see. Yeah,
but as a whole, yeah, Mike, not really. He was
okay. I'm literally just thinking of anybody that's on the team.
Yeah. But yeah,
sharpshooting Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr came through at the end. Paxson at the first couple of joints.
Paxson.
But yeah. So LeBron is definitely I'd say he's outside of his Miami. He's working with, I would say, less talent as well. So yeah, what he's been doing these past even the Miami years, what he's done ever since like 07 has been incredible. Each year to be the focal point of the entire league, everybody's chasing this guy, and for him to deliver each and every year is an incredible thing. I just read a stat earlier that In Michael Jordan's 6 finals, he was the finals favorite. His team was the favorites every single time.
See,
And in LeBron's 9, which okay, his ninth one, or his upcoming one will be his ninth final. He's
Jesus,
only
is
been
it? Yeah,
yeah,
guess it
yeah,
is.
8 straight plus 07. But his teams have only been the favorite out of those 9 times. Guess how many times?
3,
It is 2.
2. Wow.
Those first 2 championships he won, the 12 and 13 against OKC and against San Antonio. But every other time, his team has been
Wow.
the
And
underdog.
you know, and he has, you know, everyone talks about his finals record, but it's like, dude, this is not this is not cut and dry. This is not, there's nothing black and white about this. And we'll know, and you know, and we've discussed it on the show a number of times. I am not like a huge LeBron James fan. I never have been. Even, you know, when he first got here, I was just really excited for what he did to transform the city and turn us into contenders. When in my lifetime, I didn't know anything about the Cavs really being contenders. You know, even being a playoff team. God, before he got here, we hadn't been to the playoffs since '97 with Bob Sura and Cedric Henderson. So, I always respected him, but never exactly liked him, you know, so to speak.
That makes sense.
So I was, you know, for the most part, I was always a bigger Kobe fan than LeBron. But what he's doing right now, is absolutely ridiculous. And being here and being able to see, being in Cleveland and being able to watch a lot of stuff firsthand and to see the impact, literally the single-handed impact that he makes on this city is one of the most you know, amazing, astronomical things I've ever seen sports-wise in my life. The economic impact that he makes, just on that whole downtown area. You know, obviously the difference on the court, and before this year, you know, at least in Cleveland, you know, with the exception of injuries, he always had Kyrie Irving. Now it's just LeBron. It is LeBron and the fake ass Temps. Nobody has ever carried a team on his back in any sport the way that LeBron has carried this Cavaliers team on his back. This is, a lot of people say this is the biggest you know, feat of his career. I can't say that, only because you know, we played Toronto. I mean, can't really count them niggas. And we played
Them niggas broke my
and we
damn
played
heart.
Boston without Kyrie or Gordon Hayward. So I can't say just getting to the finals this year is the biggest feat. The championship in 16 will always be his biggest. But LeBron is out here dying for our sins. Essentially, I've never seen anybody exert more effort, especially at an advanced age. This man is old by sports standards, and he is playing the best basketball of his life. Imagine being that good at anything in the twilight of your career. Imagine being Danny Glover 2 months from retirement in Lethal Weapon and being as good as he is.
I said that's kind of a bad comparison, because this isn't the twilight of his career. LeBron's been playing for another 5, 6, 7 years. This is what should be the twilight of his career, and he's performing as if he's a young guy, which is even crazy to think about, because he's 33.
Mhm.
We've seen a lot of players come in the league and phase out of the league way before 33, or other players who reach his age, and you can clearly see the decline. This man's playing more minutes than he's ever played, carrying, like you say, clearing the teams more so than he's ever had to before. Putting up stats that we've, like, the numbers he put up this season, some of his counting stats have never been heard of. I think he was averaging like 27, like 9-8 on 54% shooting, which is literally never been done in NBA history.
In history of life.
Let alone from anybody, let alone a 33-year-old playing his 15th season, who's played, I think, pushing 500 playoff games. I don't know if it's 500, but push playoff games plus Olympic games. But it's ridiculous to see the mileage on this man's legs, mind, and body, and for him to continue to just perform and exceed expectations. Coming in the league as an 18-year-old with all expectations, and him to fucking supersede those is crazy to see. I don't know why we're going this fucking LeBron dick flute solo for so long, but leading back to we said we bigged up LeBron all this time just to say that nigga's gonna get his ass whooped
Yes.
2 weeks from now, probably be game like 5 or so when it ends.
Yes, we are on right now. It is the eve of game 1. I'm just not used to the final starting this early. It's just fucking weird. But yeah, it is the eve of game 1. The Cavs have opened as I think 12-point underdogs, which is the largest game 1 biggest game 1 underdogs in NBA Finals history. We are going in. We are running in. Raw Dog with Rodney Hood and
Shout out to Duke.
no,
Kev Love, I think he's questionable, if not out already.
Yeah,
for game 1.
I
need to have a referendum on Kev Love one of these episodes.
I really don't want to get into Kevin Love right now. I hate skinny Kevin Love. I really do.
I try to tell y'all when one of these summer episodes when it ain't too much going on, we'll get into why Kev Love is disappointing me.
Yes. I will be ready. I'll be locked and loaded for said episode. But we're coming in without much. I remember feeling similarly in 2015. Just after the injury to Kyrie, as well as Kevin Love, goddamn Kelly Olynyk. Remember coming in just having nothing. I mean, we relied on LeBron, Dele, and Tristan Thompson, and somehow we won 2 games in that series. Albeit against a much
you guys were up 2-1.
Yeah, we were,
which is really mind-blowing.
It is. That was LeBron literally out there playing 48 minutes every single game. And he wore down by the end of the series, which is what I'm expecting now. And that was a much different Golden State team that didn't have fuckboy Kevin Durant on there.
AKA the second best player in the world, AKA the pride of PG County.
Yeah, all that fuck shit. And this is a whole different ball game without an injury to a Golden State star, probably Durant himself. AK Perk, you know what you here for.
So y'all have adopted the slogan "whatever it takes," but y'all really haven't done whatever it takes. So I don't know if y'all really living that life, because Perk is on the roster but hasn't suited up yet. So I don't know if you guys are willing to do whatever it takes to get this championship.
No. Hashtag whatever it takes is a goddamn lie. Just like rom-coms and 9/11. It's
jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams.
It's facts.
Dante Jones is still unsigned.
That's what I'm saying. So we just because of the pure greatness of LeBron, who with a victory in his finals, in my mind, will be better than Jordan for sure.
If it happens this year, that ain't really, it can't nobody say shit.
Nah.
Moving forward.
It's gonna be a test. It's gonna be a test. I think as a Cavs fan, I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to be back. I did not expect to be back. We've never seen 2 teams play 3 consecutive years, much less 4. I think just even making it here to the finals at least gives us an opportunity to possibly retain LeBron this summer. I think we would have lost before the finals. He would have been gone for sure. So you know what? I'm just gonna sit back and I'm going to enjoy this for what it is, which is a massacre. So
I was going to say you spoke to it being a test. I said I would say this is a test in which the Warriors have the answers. They have smashed the teacher, got the test beforehand, copied the test onto some sort of small piece of paper at perhaps 2.5 font, and are in the test just writing the answer straight up.
Facts.
But what we'll probably see happen. Hopefully, like I said, I'm rooting for the Cavs too. Want you guys to win. I'm a big LeBron fan as well. But what we've seen the Cavs do is probably going to get that ass beat, and just kind of the Warriors are going to take advantage of a bad Cavs team, and kind of in a similar fashion to what we just found out, which is added to the action packness of the Pusha T Drake beef yesterday, was the Sixers general manager Brian Colangelo.
Speaking of fuck niggas with burner accounts, Kevin Durant. Continue.
Kevin Durant leads right into that. Shout out to Kevin Durant. As we now have white GM Kevin Durant and Brian Colangelo of the Sixers. Shout out to Vish,
Yes, sir.
the big homie. So the story came out yesterday that there was suspicions that Brian Colangelo,
Yes,
the
sir.
GM of the Sixers, has multiple
You ain't no Sam
burner
Hinkie,
accounts
bitch.
in which he used
Ain't no Sam Hinkie, dog.
in which he used to slander Sam Hinkie. He used to slander other teams' executive, which he used to come at his own team's players, and which he kind of at times kind of disclosed some information, some medical information
Ouch.
regarding some of the players. Which is a terrible look for the
Absolutely.
organization, because there's literally no need for your GM to be out here running around like Kevin Durant. The GM of the Sixers has a nice haircut. He appears to brush his hair, so there's no reason for him to act like Kevin Durant in any sense.
You know, I'm gonna cut you off, but it wouldn't be an episode of Beware the L's if I didn't interject.
No, please.
It's I don't know if anyone, all our 2K fans out there, has played My GM The Next Chapter, but this mirrors a storyline from My GM The Next Chapter, in which you are the general manager of your team, and the new owner of the team decides to bring in his fuckboy son to be your assistant general manager, and he starts tweeting out very hellacious shit from his Twitter account about whomever's the highest rated player on your team, and it's no surprise that the boy is not very happy. This is art imitating life. This is some Black Mirror shit.
So this is very, very Black Mirror-ish indeed. So there was an issue once the story dropped. Basketball Twitter went crazy in between tweeting out Pusha T memes about Drake, trying to figure out if in fact the GM, Mr. Colangelo, was behind these accounts, because there's a lot of stuff he was coming at players saying, hey, he's in a lot of the tweets he'd be responding to fans who were either bashing Colangelo or saying different things, supporting the players, and he would kind of come backdoor, no pause.
Backdoor.
2018.
No pause 2018.
And kind of reaffirm what you would seem to be would be like the team's approach to whatever situation was, when he was slandering Jahlil Okafor for allegedly failing to physicals when he was trying to get traded. I saw a fake tweet. I saw a fake one. I don't know if it's truly fake, but it said something about, it was tweeting at Ben Simmons to shoot a three, you fucking coward.
Speaking of Ben Simmons, oh man, my guy has gotten into some mess. If we were doing the light skin power rankings this week, he would have definitely slid down the list a little bit.
So he was, I'm pretty sure he was my number 2 last time we did him, and this man is tumbled down the list. If you're familiar with the little cheese race they do in England, where they roll cheese down the hill,
cheese down the hill, yeah.
He fell down that goddamn hill.
Yeah, he essentially, without getting into it too much, a Kardashian has once again stolen somebody's man.
Color me surprised.
And unfortunately, it is Tinashe this time. Apparently, we're on the streets. Ben Simmons was doing some creeping with good old Tinashe. I mean, on good old Tinashe with Kendall Jenner. And Kendall Jenner and Ben Simmons are now an item. So if you like to follow the tea, if you like to follow the mess, go ahead over to the Shade Room, and you can catch baller alert, and you can catch up on the rest of that.
Yes. So quick, I apologize. RIP the process. You guys had a good run, but that Kardashian curse is a motherfucker.
Yeah, the Kardashian curse, along with this fuckboy shit.
It's a bad week for the processors.
Shout out to Vish, man. We with you in solidarity, brother.
Thoughts and prayers for all the processors, including the big homie Vish, who's been a guest on the pod. But as of this recording, there has been, as far as the accounts, Colangelo did a press conference in which he copped to running one of the accounts.
Wow.
I believe it was one that hadn't tweeted. I don't know if it hadn't tweeted or just hadn't tweeted a lot. It wasn't very active. But as far as, I think, 3 of the other accounts, they being Twitter, or basketball Twitter specifically, did some research, and they have the working theory that they've narrowed down is that it's Colangelo's wife.
Wow.
who is
Plot
behind these
twist.
Twitters. I'm telling you, this is a M. Night Shyamalan will be proud.
Man, talk about a shorty riding for you. Hey, go.
Oh, that's wifey things right there.
Wow. Go control my burner accounts and take the fall just in case shit goes south. This some Empire shit. He got Brian Colangelo got himself a cookie. All right.
Handle these Twitter accounts, man. But yeah, so they did some deep dive. They matched kind of the cell phone the cell phone number you use to verify your Twitter account. And it matched the last couple digits matched hers, which I guess they pulled from a website or something like that. So we are waiting to hear from what the next step is, or whether it is her running these accounts. If so, I find it hard for Mr. Colangelo to keep his job because you can't. Like, I assume the vast majority of NBA front offices have burner accounts in which they use kind of like just to monitor the players from afar and just kind of check the temperature of the scenes. But you can't be actually using these burner accounts to have conversations and shit and let loose proprietary
information. And that's a nice Kent State college degree word.
Yes, I did my time at the university.
They did a bid on the K.
I did my time in the hole, came out, got my stripes. But it's gonna be hard for me. Look at me trying to imagine myself or imagine yourself as a free agent, trying to come to Philly, and it's like, hey, this GM might play these little hashtag games behind my back.
I mean, between that and Brett Brown just openly talking about, hey, we not good enough without a superstar to make a championship run. That's not exactly what you want to hear as a member of a basketball team on the rise that, could be starting to make trips to the finals as early as next year, So, I definitely would not be excited to want to go make a move to Philly, and as a Browns fan, I completely understand free agents not wanting to join my establishment because of riffraff in the organization. For sure. And this is just another byproduct of the age of social media and, people trying to take advantage of what can be a useful tool, but letting that shit backfire.
Niggas always take it one step too far. In this case, it wasn't even a nigga.
No, it was not. And speaking of taking things one step too far and allowing them to backfire, the NFL also stuck its gigantic foot in its mouth this past week by instituting a new national anthem policy, which essentially states in not so many words that all players are required to stand for the anthem. If any players or coaches choose not to stand, the team will be penalized on the field of play and or fined. And if you choose not to quote unquote respect the flag, then you are giving the option as a team to stay in the locker room. Jesus Christ. I mean,
America.
Hashtag America. Just NFL, you would think that they would take more, they would make more of an effort to take the advice and follow the lead of, some of these more diverse sports organizations, specifically the NBA, who is, so filled with the good old melanin that they are forced to deal with these issues, in a proactive manner.
Actually, the NBA does have a national anthem policy, but
yes, but
we're going to ignore that for now because the greater good the NBA does in issues and situations that involve people of color. So we're gonna quickly ignore them.
They do have a policy, but just in terms, just going all the way back to the Donald Sterling shit, just when something happens, they handle it, and they handle it the right way. The NFL just continues again and again and again and again. Everything they do, everything good old King Roger gets his hands on, he manages to fuck it up. From player discipline to domestic violence to the anthem policy. And, at the end of the day, this came down to not a matter of right versus wrong. This came down to a matter of 32 owners. Well, actually 31 minus. God, was it 49ers? Was it
I believe
Jed,
it was
Jed
Jed
York
York.
that just abstained from voting because he needed more information and actually advised them to bring in the NFL Players Association to discuss it instead of going behind their backs and instituting it.
Also,
Yes.
Also, this wasn't even an official vote. This was more so I read this was more of a measure in which they'd say, if we were to vote, how would you vote? As opposed to this being an actual official vote.
Oh, well, that makes it even worse. Yeah, it's just what it comes down to is just a matter of, there are 32 owners in the NFL. I think 29 or 30 of them are white, and it's just an issue that does not affect them. I think Nick Wright from FS1, who is not somebody who I agree with often, but he broke it down, and he broke it down very effectively. And he said that, you know what, if this was an issue, if this was a different issue, if let's say if the players were protesting the treatment of veterans in our country, or something of that nature, then the NFL would be 100% behind it, and they'd be donating money to organizations, and there would be widespread reform, X, Y, and Z. But because this topic, the welfare of Black people in America, does not relate to the NFL hierarchy, the hierarchy of the government, or the hierarchy of NFL owners, they don't care. And that's it. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah, so even more so, it's the hierarchy of all those things you spoke to, and even just the general feelings, not general feelings, because I guess the majority of America feels some type of way, but a good proportion of just the American public, the NFL fans feel that type of way. They don't want to deal with this issue. They don't feel this issue is a pressing issue that needs to be spoken on. They don't want to see it, so they feel that by players speaking on it and acting on it, that's something they don't want to endure, and they feel that they can just not watch the NFL, take their spending power away from NFL advertisers, and the NFL owners see that their bottom line is starting to dry up a little bit because of this, and they decided to put down a measure in which they could kind of save face a little bit and try to maintain the money coming in. This is really all about money and all about trying to appease the greater majority of the fans in the league. So it's
and you know what? It's. I mean, you're completely right. And it's a matter of echoing the sentiment of the country at large, and one where white people remain the majority. And this is, again, not saying that all white people are just these terrible people who don't give a shit about anybody, but with Trump being in office, a lot of those closet racists have become open racist, and it's a situation where the NFL owners, the people, a lot of people in this country, a lot of people in position of power look at it as, oh, well, haven't we given you Black people enough? You used to be slaves. You're not slaves no more. We gave you rights. We gave you the right to vote, the right to own property, the right to get an education, blah, 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 blah. So now it's like, why don't you shut up and take what we've given you, basically. And we don't want to hear anything else because you used to be dogs, and now, you're dogs who are allowed to go to school. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. And it's obviously, we get into these deep subjects a lot on here, but it's so disheartening to know that other human beings can care so less, about humans, about people who
about your fellow man.
Yeah, about people who breathe the same air and live the same lives and have the same goals and just want to be able to enjoy the same freedoms that you do. And again, to go all the way back to the beginning of this kneeling debate, if you remember those first couple of games, Kaepernick sat on the bench instead of actually kneeling, and he then elected to start kneeling at the advice of an actual veteran who informed him that sitting on the bench can be interpreted as potentially being disrespectful to the country, and that kneeling would show that you are still here for the country, but you are letting yourself letting things be known that while you still respect the country and everybody in it, that there are issues that need to be taken care of in order to bring everybody up to the level that they should be on. And
Yeah.
it's sad. It's just we live in an era where everything is spun. It's scary how much propaganda is being put out. We've seen so many people compare Trump to Hitler, not because of necessarily a plan to exterminate an entire race of people, but just because of the propaganda that he puts out. We have that is on a level that we have not seen since that time.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Especially with the advent of social media and the vulnerabilities that we've seen these platforms to have, that allow the propaganda from both domestic and like foreign factions and stuff to flood our timelines and flood what we're looking at, to kind of um, turn and twist public opinion and stuff like that. It's very scary to see that, and to see it being taken advantage of is something that we definitely need to bring to the forefront of everything. And it's just it's a wild time we live in, for real, for real,
Yeah,
big.
it's history repeats itself. History's bound to repeat itself, and we can't just ignore shit and just expect it to go away or expect it to never happen again. And there at some point in time there's going to be um another world war. There's going to be more nuclear bombs dropped. There's going to be more race wars and genocides that are already occurring, because that's what happens when you don't learn from your mistakes. You don't learn from your mistakes, and you continue to live by the same bigoted ideologies, and that's how you get into shit, basically. And you never know when any of this shit's gonna pop off, but with these ugly, hateful attitudes, unfortunately, it's just a matter of time. Christians, as Christians, we say a lot that the rapture is coming. We are in the end of days. Um, Nobody really knows when that time's gonna come, but unless people start pulling their heads out of their asses and giving a fuck about other people, it's gonna be a lot sooner than you think, unfortunately. And then we're gonna be living in a big ass version of Fallout. Great, which are excellent games, but goddamn, if y'all seen some of the creatures that I didn't seen on that bitch.
It's fun to play it on a 40 inch, but I don't think it's gonna be fun to play it in real life.
Nah, bruh, nah. We're gonna find other ways. We're gonna find other loopholes. We're gonna find other ways to get this shit done. It's gonna be a lot of Tommy Smith and John Carlos, throwing up the fist. And even if we got to get to a point where we starting to see players potentially sit out games and protest, even imagine even if one team or two teams decide to sit out a fucking game. Can you imagine what type of discussion and dialogue that will end up starting up for these owners, who by no means want to lose out on any money, or that type of money. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's for sure gonna get real, because the main thing I've seen is the what kind of like is most appalling to me is the fact that the conservative media has twisted this entire issue from being what it originally set out as, which was kind of protesting racial injustice and police brutality, to being that players who sit or players who kneel for the anthem are disrespecting America, disrespecting the veterans, disrespecting the anthem itself. So for it to even be twisted and said like that's it's sad to see, because that's not the original meaning of the cause. That is, anybody who's been interviewed who sat or kneeled spoke to the reasons why they sat or kneeled, and it has nothing to do with that, but just so that people cannot deal because people don't want to deal with the heart of the issue, which is what the racial injustice, police brutality. They're twisting it so that they're disrespecting the flag. You don't care about America, which to the point where Trump said after hearing about the NFL, the new policy saying, I'm glad they did that. If players don't stand for the anthem, maybe they shouldn't be in this country. That's the United States president talking about United States citizens because he feels that they shouldn't peacefully protest at that for issues that are really prevalent, especially nowadays in America. Feels that maybe they shouldn't be in this country as American citizens, which is bullshit. I'm getting hot right now just even thinking about this shit, but it's a wild time. Hopefully we see some changes. Hopefully we see some people sit out and it could spark some even further discussion, which could lead to some change. And we see some fucking changes in this bitch, you dig?
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, man. Yeah, my G. You kind of hit it all on the head, man. It's extremely maddening. It's it make you want to fight somebody, make you want to throw hands with these niggas out in the streets. But it's something that ultimately, if we are willing to, take the chance to get out here and fight for it, then it's something that we can do wholeheartedly as people, as a unit, because it can't just be, oh well, I don't want to step too far out of my, I don't want to get too far online, I don't want to fuck my money up. Imagine where the fuck we would still be at as a people in this country if our civil rights leaders back in the 40s, 50s, 60s decided to do that, to say, I don't want to fuck my money up. I don't want to get out of line.
Fuck my money up. Now I can't re-up.
Now I can't re-up. So overall, it's an issue that's going to continue, and if anybody, if these players are half as passionate as a lot of us out there in the regular world are, then they're going to continue to fight for what's right because they have the platform to be able to do so. But speaking of motherfuckers getting out of line, that's going to take us to our wrap up, and we are going to wrap it up this week with our L's of the week here on what is now Thursday, May the 31st. Me is relatively simple. I can't even say that Drake or Push or anybody like that has taken their L's. The Houston Rockets, y'all niggas definitely up there, but they let H-Town down. They let Slim Thugger down.
Chris Paul got hurt. I'm not putting too much of an L on them.
See, nah, fuck that. Because Chris Paul getting hurt ain't got shit to do with shooting 7 for 40 from 3. It does not.
It could. I mean, that was a terrible showing. I think it was 7 for 44. You might have given him too much credit. Yeah. But I feel like Chris Paul in a situation, having him just as a reliable ball handler and a relative old nigga who could be like, hey, young niggas, chill. Let's handle business. Would have made. I don't know if would have made some type of difference. So I can't give them a full L. Perhaps a half an L, a half a smoked L. I don't know.
They were up 3-2. With or without Chris Paul, Game 7 on your home court, you were up by 17
against the greatest team of all time.
That's fine. Then just don't show up. That
could have worked.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why come out and put up 39 points in the first quarter and have a 17-point lead? Like what's that was in Game 6, and in Game 7, again building up a double-digit halftime lead for what? For what?
We know Harden's not built for this. We'll get in some deep dive Harden talk one of these days as well.
Nice for what to these Negroes? Okay. But my L of the week goes to one, the only, crassed, rude, quite frankly, smacked, Roseanne Barr.
God damn it, that's my L too, but we can both speak on it.
You know what? Let's then let's both air out this skin tag on the face of humanity.
That's me loading the
Roseanne
chopper.
Roseanne Barr has always been problematic. She has always been, like I said, very crude, and not just her brand of comedy. She's not Chelsea Handler, who's a crude comedian, but for all intents and purposes, out in the real world, everybody loves her.
Yeah.
Um,
Shout out 50 Cent.
AKA Ferrari F50. Um, Roseanne Barr sucks. Okay, she is as horrible of a person as she is of a comedian. Now, admittedly, I was a fan, um, to a certain extent, of the original Roseanne. It was something. It was something about those shows with the dysfunctional families that I think we those sitcoms with the dysfunctional families from the 90s that I think you can identify a lot more with. And despite maybe every one line joke on the show, you understood a lot of plot points. You kind of identify with a lot of shit. Same way, to a lesser extent with like Married with Children as well. Love Married with Children, absolute classic. But it was different from your average white bread 80s TV shows with the goody two shoes, traditional nuclear family, and oh, make sure you drink your milk and say your prayers before bed, and oh, Timmy, we can't believe that you stole our car to go to the hop, like it was a different time. So with Roseanne, I identified with that. Now, when I heard Roseanne was coming back, I was not very happy because I mean we've seen the type of vile individual that Roseanne has morphed into in the damn near 20 years since the show has ended. But there were a couple people on the show who I do support. I still love me some John Goodman. Um,
Shout out John Goodman.
Shout out to old girl Debbie from Shameless, amongst other people. Sarah Gilbert, people like that. And admittedly, I even though I didn't watch any of it, I was hoping that at the very least it could potentially create some positive dialogue in how people with differing viewpoints in this country should be able to, at least come together and have fucking civil discussions, even civil disagreements. Instead, we got basically 30 minutes to an hour of Trump praising, of blowing down on liberals, basically saying that we cry too much, and nobody wants to hear your plight, and blah blah blah, and a lot of very racially charged humor, to the point even some people estimated as much as 50% of the humor on the show is some kind of race related joke. And it's unfortunately we got what you would expect out of a sitcom in Trump America. Unfortunately, it got excellent ratings because finally, your Trump supporters had a comedian to get behind other than Tim fucking Allen. And the show swelled. It got amazing ratings, had already been picked up and was already in production for season 2. When Roseanne, who couldn't keep her fucking Twitter fingers to herself,
all she had to do was
shut
chill.
up and take her money. That's all she had to do. But of course, that sense of entitlement, that white privilege, she had to hop on the Twitter and apparently let out some jokes about Chelsea Clinton, former Obama administration aide Valerie Jarrett, made some very very derogatory comments towards them, completely uncalled for. I mean, they did absolutely nothing. There are situations in which people sometimes bring themselves into unnecessary lights, but this was, for the most part, this was a random Nick Nolte cocaine fueled Twitter rant. It came out of clear blue. You got to understand where the fuck you at, who you employed by. ABC Disney ain't having none of that shit. Immediately, the comments were made that morning, and Roseanne was dropped later, canceled that afternoon. And, definitely applaud, big applause for Disney, who it takes a lot to cancel your highest rated sitcom like that. without even really thinking. And that lets you know that Disney, which historically, if you go all the way back to Walt Disney, was one of the biggest racists in the history of ever. Anti-Semitic
That boy
racist.
Disney was on some shit. Golly.
um, it hasn't always been known for inclusion and diversity and equality, but in recent years, with Disney becoming the major corporation that it is, we've seen a lot of outlets become more inclusive and diverse, from their movies themselves to, from Moana to Frozen, to, to The Princess and the Frog, all the way to the Marvel movies, which are, deal with a ton of different types of social issues, and deal with them in a very tasteful manner. They stepped up and they did what they had to do. So shout out to Disney for doing the damn thing and getting that broad up the fuck off of my television. She's done in entertainment, probably. Well, at least outside of Infowars, and
Oh, so definitely InfoWars is going to be a key
so
contributor.
yeah, for Infowars or Fox News,
Fox News, baby.
but outside of places that matter, she's done. I feel bad for a lot of the people who were, getting a paycheck for working on Roseanne, from the actors all the way down to the production crew and everything else. That's very unfortunate that they had to get a check. They get food taken out of their kids' mouths because somebody couldn't. It's so hateful that they couldn't even hide it. You know how fucking hateful you got to be to not be able to mask that shit for 7-figure checks.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I'm definitely, like I said, this is my L2 of the week. But I'm gonna come at it from a different angle. Like I as coming up when I was younger, I heard of Roseanne. I never watched the television show. Never really was familiar with her comedy. Um, the first I ever learned of Roseanne, this is after the fact, but it was her national anthem performance, which she sang a horrible national anthem and then grabbed her crotch like she was packing that heat and spit very rudely after that. But you shouted out ABC for having the courage to kind of cancel their highest show. Um, I respect that, but at the same time, ABC, you knew what the deal was.
Facts.
Roseanne
No, she didn't.
has not popped out the blue with this. This isn't the first instance, and we've seen Roseanne be controversial, especially due to racist and controversial
Facts.
issues.
Facts.
I remember a couple summers ago. I think it was not a couple summers ago, but I remember seeing recently, it was last year's show, an old photo shoot with Roseanne Roseanne, who is Jewish, by the way,
Yes.
dressed as a Nazi
Nazi.
with a plate of burnt cookies, which I can only assume would be referencing to Jewish people.
Yes.
We've seen her, which is just crazy. Just that's kind of similar. That some could equate that as being a black person wearing blackface.
Yeah.
Um,
Tom Arnold, I'm sorry that you had to deal with that, man.
Yeah.
You are a good individual. You don't deserve that shit.
Tom Arnold, who was in one of the quintessential hood classic movies, Soul Plane.
Yes, sir.
Clearly, he was one of the stars of that movie. But yeah, her we've seen tweets, multiple tweets of just her nonsense, her bigotry, her racism. So for ABC to even take a chance to bring her back, that's them focused again. That's a big corporation focused on their bottom line. I mean, it's problematic for me. I wouldn't have done that myself, but I can see where they come from. But to act like you're surprised by what Roseanne tweeted or how she's been acting, that's disingenuous for anybody to feel that way, because you knew what it was when you signed up. Shout out to Aubrey. He's all over this episode. But
yeah. I mean,
so yeah, and then she tried to go ahead and blame it on Ambien. Oh, I popped a Molly. I'm sweating, and now I happen to tweet some racist shit.
And I've had an Ambien or two in my life. Ambien does not turn you into a racist hog. All right,
are you sure? Because that's what Roseanne said.
That's surely not how this works. It's not how any of this works. And you're correct. ABC knew what they were getting in bed with. They knew what they were getting. It's like getting into a relationship and trying to change somebody so you can get the credit. Nope, it don't work. You get whoever the fuck signing up for it. Jim Boeheim meme.
They were
Um,
who we thought they were.
R.I.P. Dennis Green as well. Um, it's you know what? So I don't feel bad for ABC, but they did in damage control. They did the right thing. It's just it also I think it speaks on a bigger L, which is this age of fucking reboots, where because of the success of a couple of reboots, Roseanne's and Will and Grace's and whatnot, we ain't never gonna see no more original fucking content because it's too easy to bring back fucking racist bigoted racist Trump supporters who now can play off of their bigotry and speak to an audience that's no longer in hiding, a bunch of Klansmen who no longer have to wear hoods. And that's where this is America. This is America. So in other words, you know, ABC, you know what you was getting, and I feel no ways, towards y'all, but at the same time, it's just we are living in a fucked up world. We live in a fucked up society. I feel like we say it every episode, man, but it's on us. It is truly, truly, truly on us, in order to speak up and and make the change that we deserve. And if it wasn't for the outcry on social media from concerned,
No,
people, like us, it never would have got canceled. So without that backlash, it would have never happened. Without our backlash, the NFL would have never been under fire. Without you know, us stepping up and adding fuel to the fire of this rat beef, it wouldn't be anything. It would have never continued. So you'd be surprised how much power um, we actually have over events that are unfolding. It's just, you got to get out of that whole, oh, I'm only one person, I can't make a difference mentality. Because you get a couple thousand people that feel like they can make a difference, and all of
pretty
a sudden you
much.
got a difference. So on that note, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up episode 7 of Beware the Ills. Once again, follow me on all the socials at Uptown Ace Boogie. Follow the pod
Yeah, yeah,
at
yeah.
Beware the
And also
Ills.
follow your boy here, Wes. Ain't that Wes? Twitter, IG, all that shit. Most importantly, follow Beware the L's on Twitter. Get the followers up, tweet at us, let us know what's going on. Follow us on the on iTunes. Subscribe to the podcast, which is good. Give us a rating, give us a comment, share, and then most importantly, share. If you fuck with us,
Pretty good.
share. We try and blow the fuck up. Get our tremendous opinions and great discussions out to the masses. So share with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your homies, your side chicks, your side niggas. Um, yeah. Get them
That's
some
most
comedy so
important,
that
actually.
they're focused on not exposing you to your to your main. Um,
Uh, like, rate, share, subscribe, retweet, comment, all that good
all the
shit.
above.
And
Send
please
send
go
send
ahead
nudes.
put uh,
All the above.
yeah. You can direct all the news to Wes's inbox. Go ahead, go ahead. I'm gonna let you have all that, my G.
I appreciate it, man. You
You know,
thoughtful guy.
hey man, very. All the sixes. Jr. Go ahead, send all them sixes Wes's way. He would love to have some six news.
Hey, I'll be the
For
I'll be
sure.
the sixth guy. It might be a new opening. I'll take the mantle.
uh, but yeah, go ahead, put us over, man. Go ahead, tell a friend and tell a friend to tell a friend. Go ahead, leave feedback. We definitely love to hear it. And go ahead, man. Get us up, fuck with us, follow us. We got to get our followers up. If we gonna be the new faces of Men's Fashion Nova, we gonna need y'all help in order to do that. Hopefully, actually, we would love for Fashion Nova to come and sponsor the pod. That would be perfect, actually. So
Fashion
so
Nova,
so
please hit
so
our lines.
so we here. All right, we with y'all, and just we get on here every damn week and we talk about the L's and beware the L's. But when it comes to these major issues, these major social issues, this injustice is going on. These fights aren't singular. Ain't none of us in these, situations by ourselves. We ain't out there fighting for ourselves, banging for ourselves. We are a unit. We are one collective, people, and we got to protect each other. And that's all you can do if you plan on making this world a better place. So, um, enjoy. Y'all go ahead and have a fucking fantastic first week of June. The NBA Finals start tomorrow. We're about to have a lot of good music, a lot of Capriccio bubbly, and and everything else that's gonna make this summer as amazing as possible. So, from your boys, the Wayne Wonder Twins, on Beware the L's. Take care and beware of the pitfalls of motherfucking life. Catch y'all episode 8.
And just like that, episode 7, we are out.
The Commission, Uncle Paulie, P. Diddy, Caesar Leo, De Janeiro, Charlie Baltimore, Iceberg Slim, The Most Shady, Frankie Baby. We here.
Do you know what beef is? Do you know what beef
nowhere.
is? Ask yourself. Do you know what beef is?
Come on. Ha 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 ha. Check out this bizarre rapper style used by me. The B.I.G. I put my key, you put your key in. Money will be seeing. We'll reach the fucking ceiling. Check it. My calico been cop. This rap Alfred Hitchcock drop top notch. Player hating gon' stop. This instant. Rappers too persistent. Quick to spit. Biggie name on shit. Make my name taste like ass when you speak it. See me in the street, your jewelry, you can keep it. That be our little secret. See me, B that is, I that is, G Wiz. Motherfuckers still in my bid. Hope they know my nigga got a fucking kidnap kids. Fuck them in they ass, throw them over the bridge. That's how it is. My shit is laid out. Fuck that beef shit. That shit is played out. Y'all got the goal. All I make is one phone call. All y'all disappear by tomorrow. All your guns is borrowed. I don't feel sorrow. Actually, your man passed the gap to me. Now check this. What's beef? Beef is when you need 2 gas to go to sleep. Beef is when your moms ain't safe up in the streets. Beef is when I see you. Guaranteed to be in ICU. One more time. What's beef? Beef is when you make your enemies start your G. Beef is when you roll no less than 30 deep. Beef is when I see you, guaranteed to be in ICU. Check it, I done smoked with the best of them, shot at the rest of them, was about 100 or more, maybe less of them, got my rocks off. That nigga from the brook just be wildin' on you, just be styling on you, and I tried to warn you, but your eyes fucked up. Now I cleared them shits with hits, you on the fucking bench. Pardon my French, but sometimes I get kinda peeved at these weak MCs with these supreme baller life. Lyrics, I call them like I CMG. Y'all niggas sound like me. Y'all was grimy in the early 90s. Far behind me, it ain't hard to find me. #1 with the booyaka. Give me the Remy and the Chronic. Ain't no telling what I do to y'all. It's obvious the game's new to y'all. Take them ends you make and spend them on the tutor, huh? One shot, I'm through with what's beef. Beef is when you need 2 gas to go to sleep. Beef is when your moms ain't safe up in the streets. Beef is when I see you, guaranteed to be in ICU. One more time, what's beef? Beef is when you make your enemies start your G. Beef is when you roll no less than 30 deep. Beef is when I see you, guaranteed to be in ICU. There'll be nothing but smooth sailing. When I spit shots, now your crew's bailing. All I got is heat and tough talk for you. Tie you up, cut your balls off just for you. Man, listen, straight torture. Look what that slick shit bought ya. A first class ticket to Lucifer. Real name Christopher. Watch me set it off like Vivica. Here lies your demise. Close your eyes, think good thoughts. Die while your skin start to glisten. Pale blue, hands get cold, your soul's risen. It's bad cause I just begun. Will make this shit real bad, I was having fun. What's beef? Beef is when you need 2 gas to go to sleep. Beef is when your moms ain't safe up in the streets. Beef is when I see you, guaranteed to be in ICU. One more time, what's beef? Beef is when you make your enemies start your G. Beef is when you roll no less than 30 deep. Beef is when I see you. Guaranteed to be your ICU. And I'm through. Life after.
Now ask yourself, do you really know what beef is?
Life after.
Then ask yourself, do you really
Life after.
Yeah, I like that. Big Nosh,